zone here. So looking for some more good stuff from the OpTic squad as they head against Cloud9. Definitely a very difficult opponent. And already we're seeing a little bit of the top focus with the Yorick ban starting out from Cloud9.
Yeah, always nice to see the respect being paid. Lucian and Ezreal, though, will be banned away from Nisqy, and Thresh also away from Big.
A little bit more context on that Yorick ban and why we're calling it out is Dhokla, even last year, played Yorick, split push, and they won for OpTic, and he was the only guy doing the Yorick that early on. This was before the buffs to the ultimate even, so definitely a target ban there, respecting one of the kind of new guys in the LCS that the analyst desks were going over all these different top laners and their profiles.
Yeah, and there's Cassio and Silas, so another ban taken away. I've seen Silas a lot in globally. Presence has been pretty high, but Licorice, as we mentioned, is the only one to win with the champion so far. And of course, with Urgot open, Urgot will be taken, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, Urgot, definitely super powerful pick. We've been talking about it pretty much all day as, oh, you know, Urgot didn't get nerfed on 9.3 when so many other things did. Are we going to see him permanently banned? He's actually been more often let through the bans and picked up first pick here in trade for things like Sion. That looks like they'll be going over to OpTic. Interesting, they're going to be pairing the Sion into Urgot lane, which is not a powerful lane, with an Olaf. So that makes me think OpTic want to focus on mid and bottom early because Olaf, early game, super powerful for dueling, super powerful for invading, but he's going to need to work with those lanes and some winning lanes on the bottom half. I have to say, Sion, since the nerfs here on 9.3, the lane phase is actually significantly weaker. Got damage off the Q, cooldown on the W increase, so we'll see if meteos has you know, some good matchups with Crown and Arrows picks when those come in.
Well, Nocturne and Zoe are the picks here for Cloud9, so everyone picking their own champion, but also picking for power, especially in mid lane. Nisqy was playing Zoe in the early weeks of the split, and she's kind of risen in power as the game moved on.
Yeah, definitely a huge fan of Zoe right now. I feel like she's in a good spot as far as the early lane phase, and then having the opportunity for game-changing bubbles on such a low cooldown later in the game has really paid off with huge rewards for a lot of teams. Also,
Ahri here for Crown, I like that. We'll see exactly how that pick kind of shakes out. Ahri has been absent for quite a while with, I guess, one play from Jensen. I can remember late last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan as well, Pastry, because Ahri into Zoe matchup has the same idea as the LeBlanc into Zoe matchup. However, it's so easy for Ahri to land the charm on Zoe. When you use your ultimate on Zoe, you go back to the same spot, you self-root yourself. So, especially at the pro level of play, I've seen so many combos here for Ahri's catching Zoe out of position, since she has the mobility with your ultimate, and then it makes it very easy to land the charm as well. That's the main thing that Nisqy's going to have to look out for.
Got some bottom lane attention after basically all topside picks here for both sides. Zilean on the OpTic side banned away, and Kalista banned away for Cloud9. See if the support ban trend continues here for OpTic. Seen a lot of Alistar bans versus Zeyzal. Always think of something like Thresh, which is already banned, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm really liking how we're whittling so far down on the bottom lane matchups here, because both sides yet to select their own. And after the Kalista ban, if we see something like a Sivir ban, we're going to be super deep down there into the Ashe or what was Varus we've seen recently. Kaisa is still available, actually. Yeah, that's a big one.
Alistar actually banned by Cloud9, interestingly, so Zeyzal has something else. He's played a lot of Braum Ali so far this split, but clearly doesn't want to give the powerful champion away too big either.
Definitely can be the case. Are they going to go? I personally am a huge fan of Ashe right now because of her strong lane phase. Has a lot of options for the item build as well. But it is going to be the Ornn for Big. This has been a classic every single OpTic game. We keep looking for it because he plays the support Ornn, and so many of their early wins, actually both I should say, came with this champion. He's able to use it later on for team fights and for their initiation.
And there's Xayah, and there's Rakan to go with it. Cloud9 gonna lock in the duo that we don't see too often, but I guess with them both being open here, Cloud9 happy to snap them up. OpTic's final pick is here. Looks like Arrow needs a champion.
Yeah, we get to see Xayah with the new crit items here. It feels super nice. You can rush the Infinity Edge into your Zeal item. On the other side, for Arrow, hovering on the Draven. He has had some experience in the past, and it was fun to watch, but not going to be the case here. We'll go with the Kaisa for a little bit more standard, but Kaisa is a really good combination with Ornn, as we've seen before. When Ornn can apply the stacks for Kaisa to just use her ultimate too, there's a lot of mobility there, a lot of all-in potential, and it comes at a super long range. Ornn ultimate and Kaisa ultimate both can allow this bottom lane to roam up for a lot of team plays, help out the jungler, help out the mid laner, and really make those mid-game skirmishes work.
Yeah, it seems like we've got pretty balanced drafts on both sides. OpTic maybe feeling a bit happy with the extra engage there from the bottom lane, but we'll have to see. Cloud9 have been good at playing around the map as well, and OpTic have looked good in lots of different stages. Again, we look to meteos, we look to Crown. You mentioned that with Urgot Sion, there's probably not too much action happening there in the top lane, so looking for meteos to play in the enemy jungle and towards Crown's lane. See if they can't pick off this Zoe, because Zoe from ahead is obnoxious, but Zoe from behind, not so bad.
Yeah, definitely going to keep an eye on this Ahri pick. Very excited for Crown to pull this one out. Very rare pick for professional play. Not too often has Ahri been one of the premier ones. Not since we had Shifter in the league.
Oh goodness, that is a long time ago. Just checking, it is not Glacial Augment, which is the last LCS Ahri game I remember, but this looks like Electrocute for Crown, so keeping it nice and standard. Seeing a lot of Ahri today on Zoe, but also Electrocute there for Nisqy, so could be some blood in the mid lane.
All right, it's going to go for the high-powered burst damage. I mean, the Glacial Augment is super powerful as far as controlling terrain for team fights later, with your item activations also releasing the big slows, but this gives you more punch.
Certainly does, but for more on how Cloud9 navigated this game, we are going to throw it down to Ovally for a report with Reapid.
Thanks, guys. Reaper Licorice thinks that he is the best top in NA, but you know, he needs coach's approval. What does he have to do to get your approval as best top laner in NA?
Less some ego. and also I'm watching all the practice games, right? So I know what is his weaknesses right now, but obviously I cannot tell to the interview, so I don't know what to tell.
Any big accomplishment that he needs to do?
No, just keep playing and keep trying hard, I guess.
Just keep playing, trying hard. Well, best of luck to you and best of luck to him in this game. Back to you guys at the desk.
So you're saying he does have weaknesses. I like the stern. You need to have a little bit less ego as well.
Sounds like Reapid to me. He's especially hard on his top laner because, of course, that was his role when he was a professional player.
Yeah.
But certainly, for the public, Licorice has been very, very good so far this split. We'll see how he does here up against Dhokla, a matchup we've seen maybe too many times for our liking, but certainly can be fun, and Licorice should feel like a good amount of initiative is his with the Urgot there.
Yeah, especially with this Nocturne Olaf jungle matchup, can make these lanes super, super volatile. Right now, Svenskeren going through red into Krugs, pretty classic here for blue side start, and meteos is opting for Wolf start into the blue here on the Olaf, getting all this extra attack speed after getting low. Blue's going to replenish the mana for more axe spam to continue his clear. And this is kind of the fastest power clear, basically, because the wolves will spawn a little bit quicker. And so you get that one done super quick, get your blue next so you can keep spamming, keep your DPS up with the axes, and oh, bottom!
Ignite down here. Zeyzal already getting aggressive. Big force to flash away. Now Arrow backing onto Sneaky. Well, they already used their Ignite. Arrow might try and find a few more hits, but Sneaky has the heal. Finally forced to pop it. They hit level 2. Arrow flashes forward. The flash throw from Sneaky will keep him safer. Zeyzal gets low, and OpTic somehow win the back end of that trade.
That is almost all summoners blown, Pastry. 7 summoners used at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. We better get some jungler action down here now. They're gotta be smelling blood because these guys are at each other's throats. Look at this. The Xayah, Rakan, all in for the level 1 here before they even pop to level 2. Ignite is used, Flash is used defensively, but Arrow keeps his head about him. He goes for the damage onto the enemy AD carry. Sneaky using the heal for the extra move speed and the life there. barely gets away. Zeyzal blocks the W from Arrow. Oh my goodness. That auto was very close to being enough damage, but good job there by Zeyzal to block the W coming out afterwards.
Well, now 3 for both, and Big almost there. But I think we'll have to calm things down just a touch here in the bot lane, because junglers went topside. Licorice in trouble. Meteos, he heard about this guy. He wants to take him down, and that's first blood to the Olaf.
Less some ego, says Reaper. Meteos chops him down a little bit here on the top side. And it is a topside scuttle for Svenskeren, but as we said, Meteos was going for the power clear Olaf. You just get all your camps respawning here, and that is one of the quickest ways to level 6, because your camps respawning second time around are going to have a lot more experience in them after you take away those first time half equations. So Meteos walks very easily in to Licorice here. I want to recheck the time, but I believe it was about 3.5 minutes. And it is a little bit surprising to see the level 4 Olaf, but yeah, Licorice super far pushed up there, didn't have any vision, and really nice move from Meteos. Dhokla now. Dhokla is going to have to deal with the enemy jungler, also looking for a dive.
There's a really good ward there, but I think Dhokla now in a 1v3 situation might find this a little too tough to try and get out of. They'll start off the dive. Here. Channels the Q. Knock up there onto Licorice, but he's tanky enough. The kill goes over. Licorice does get a trade.
That is going to be pretty big for Dhokla going down with all those minions, but Sion can get him while he's dead. Meteos.
Really nice backstep there from Meteos, but doesn't get himself knocked up. Pop the Predator to try and make something happen here in bot lane, but to no avail. Now it's Dhokla's turn to come back with the TP. Already has that trap finished.
He's able to chase him off a bit there. He got a significant amount of that CS with the zombie, actually, after he got back up. Beyond Death was able to pick up a few, not lose too much, teleport right back out. So it's not the worst case scenario for him. Nice strike back there for Cloud9 to keep the gold fairly close.
Muck up there from Big as well, just getting it, but Zeyzal tries to back around. Ignite is back, and Nisqy gonna get the kill.
That just looks so clean from Zeyzal, slipping right in there and re-engaging for the kill. They know there's no flash on him, and actually Zeyzal still has his with the Rakan. He's the one guy bottom lane that did not use it. So Arrow's got to be careful.
Yeah, Ignite pretty low cooldown now, so Big does pay the price.
Plus what you can use when you have the flash on Rakan, nowadays after they change the W, you can actually flash closer. So if you flash point blank and then use a short range knockup, it comes out super quickly. Whereas before it wasn't as helpful to try and go for a flash knockup play. Really catch people off guard.
Big does return here, but Zeyzal and Nisqy trying to get the lane pushed in. Crown and Nisqy both level 6. They execute procs just from auto attacks. Crown fishes for the charm, but does not land it. Nisqy also tries to paddle him back, but doesn't hit there either.
Short paddle. Need to extendo paddle on that one.
Got cleanse here for both as well, so not expecting too many 1v1 deaths here in mid lane, but have been wrong before. Zeyzal cutting back towards Nisqy. Looks like they're trying to take a recall.
I mean, with so much fighting over the bottom side, you got to think this early dragon is going to be under fire soon. Crown already trying to bully mid lane as well. On the Ahri, moving around with his ultimate, he's very threatening.
Svenskeren only level 5. Crown's actually level 7, but there's a bubble. What's just going to miss?
Right by his head right there. Barely slips over.
Sven, though, he's going to get 6 and take the red buff, so Meteos, who tried to Predator in and maybe steal that camp away, will only find Svenskeren and no camp for him to take.
I would take the dragon right now, honestly. You can sneak over there. Oh, maybe he doesn't have his sweeper activated. Yeah, he has no sweeper, so he's not completely sure. And we've seen a lot of people today try and sneak dragons and get caught, Pastry, so he's going to get the Scuttle Crab instead, while Svenskeren looks for a possible ultimate bottom.
Zeyzal still has that flash you mentioned.
Oh,
can be a strong lane to hook up. Meteos is going to start the dragon.
It's something you have to be so worried about nowadays. Wow, he smited early there because he had 2 charges and he needed a little bit of health. So his second charge actually comes back up in time to secure it as well. And that is going to be a Cloud Drake so big for an Olaf to grab that. And OpTic are going to be able to get that extra bonus in addition to their gold lead.
Great coverage there from Crown, as Svenskeren is still here in the bot lane trying something. And maybe just waiting for the Krugs to come up now. But no 6 there for Zeyzal. Not really many angles they can take with someone that's coming back up.
Yeah, you have to be so careful nowadays because everybody has their eyes on Dragon. It's the first buff is worth so much. With Cloud Drake, it's literally worth twice as much as the second Cloud Drake that you would get. And Olaf definitely well equipped to solo it, so meteos very happy to pick that one up. And Svenskeren, as you said, a lot of patience on bottom side looking for a possible ultimate, but because no mana, no level 6 well equipped there for the bottom side to start it up, they don't get a counterplay.
Yep, meteos, sorry, Svenskeren instead takes some lane farm and now takes his recall, has finished up Warrior. Is Crown also going to take his back?
It is tricky. You know, there's so many ex-Cloud9 members still floating around the league on various teams. meteos, you know, used to play for them. He was their jungler. And contracts as well. I guess Cloud9 have quite a few of those guys floating around.
Certainly do. Apparently they're good at growing talent. Maybe this guy is an indication to that, as Licorice and Dhokla still fighting, but looks like Sion is pretty comfy in the lane. Licorice, after that first gank, hasn't really been able to find a foothold. But they'll both still be relevant as team fights break out, and I do expect maybe a bit more attention for that next Drake. As you mentioned, the first one's always good. Cloud is nice there for OpTic, but Infernal will be the next one.
Oh, baby. All right, mid lane power might be the difference then. Blue buffs have been traded. Crown's been doing a good job like moving up onto Nisqy, but it hasn't really translated into CS lead. Ooh, nice little chunk there as well. Or too much of a significant impact on the jungle. They've threatened Svenskeren a little bit, but it hasn't fought yet.
Yep, 2v2 in the top side. Svenskeren going to charge in. Licorice trying to get the execute. Still has the ulti. Svenskeren's going to try and chase him down, but actually meteos just goes up the turret.
Man.
Takes him down. Now a knock up there from Dhokla as meteos is trying to book it. But now Svenskeren going to turn his attention back around Nisqy once again. Roaming up nice and quickly for the team. Q's going to miss though. Dhokla finally going to go down to Nisqy, but the bubble does not hit meteos. He is forced to flash. Nisqy wanted it. He flashed after him to try and get the kill, but he doesn't grab it as zombie Sion gets feared and runs away, and somehow it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, and Nisqy roamed all the way up there, so during this time, Crown gets 2 plates off of the mid turret, plus more damage, and gets a teleport burnt here. This is Licorice, I believe. Yep, he's gonna come in, but meteos with the determination there. I did not expect him to finish the kill onto Urgot by the turret. Is able to finish him off after picking up the last axe there, and still gets out alive in exchange for Dhokla being chased down. I think that is honestly overall still an OpTic win because of the extra turret plates mid and Nisqy roaming, but here's another look at it. Initially, Licorice immediately flashing out there. meteos doesn't give up on it. Takes the extra tower shot, does get ignited. Bottom side, though, is going for another play.
Zeyzal pop the ulti. Sneaky gonna have to burn his ult as well. Big looking for it. Heal burnt also by the Cloud9 duo. Some more pressure here from meteos as Big and Arrow try and find the kill. No such luck, though. Ornn ulti, nice and straightforward to try and fish for something. As Svenskeren still on his Krugs will be spotted by Big as he wards that out. Nisqy there helping out with the redemption that he found in mid lane.
That's actually so nice of Nisqy. He walked a little bit bottom lane to get in range to send that extra care package down to the Sneaky and Zeyzal.
Almost 3 plates here though for Crown. Maybe he's going to get it as this wave pushes in. And Svenskeren does not know his jungle is very unsafe right now.
Surprise!
Oh, that's not the surprise you want. Gets knocked up by Ornn. Svenskeren does have his flash, but he can't get out. meteos now on a killing spree, rampaging through the rest of Cloud9.
Imagine an Olaf with Ragnarok popped and an Ornn popping out of the bush, smacking it with a hammer and the axe, and now they're looking for bottom lane 5 people.
Play continues. Here's Dhokla Sneaky, no ult, no flash, and he's dead to the Sion as Zeyzal gonna get knocked around and taken down as well. Arrow this time, the ones that claim the kill.
OpTic Wrecking Crew are on it right now. Bottom lane gets demolished. Teleport does go in. They will exchange turret plates with the top side. Licorice does get the entire top side turret for it, but OpTic also got a lot of plates off the bottom side in addition to the kills. So this proactive play for them is taking significant rewards. I think this Infernal Drake that you're talking about too, they should be able to get the reset off, and it's going to be a lot about all that vision they left in the jungle as a lead up.
Oh, Nisqy barely, not enough. Crown must have known because he didn't use that cleanse, but Spirit Rush just in time as the bubble wears off.
And very critically, no Spirit Rush for this Infernal Dragon really reduces the effectiveness of this Ahri, of Crown in the early fight. So that might be the tipping point that allows Cloud9 Cloud9 to just slip in. Yeah, it looks like they're, you know, Ahri back in base, no ultimate. This is our objective now.
Licorice was walking down there as well, but knows he's not needed. So maybe just going to ghost back there with that scorebook swap over to the top side as Cloud9 do secure the Infernal Drake.
All right, slight credit there to Nisqy then for forcing that one out of Crown and earning the objective back for the team, as the bottom lane also had just gotten off a recall and reset there, so they were coming out fairly powerful, but now they're under attack.
At it again, Sneaky with a nice ult, but Big maybe ready to follow up with Meteos behind once again. Zeyzal ready with his combo, but no need to use it right now.
Relentless down here on the bottom side. Sneaky and Zeyzal constantly under fire. Svenskeren is trading that pressure on top side for Rift Herald while Licorice is doing his own work.
He just finished his Black Cleaver, so Dhokla actually in quite a spot of bother. Licorice continuing to gun him down, needs to land the ulti. Dhokla trying to juke where he can, but he doesn't have his flash. The shield is back for Dhokla, but Licorice gonna dive another turret here and try and finish him off. Needs a bit more damage. Licorice finds the harpoon. That channel was ill-advised, and Licorice finds the solo kill.
I feel like what are you doing there? Standing channeling the Q that's going to keep you in place while the R from Olaf is still in the chamber. Dhokla just gets nailed in the head right there. Pulled in for the extra kill for Licorice. No attempt at continuing the dodges. And that is going to be in exchange for some bottom lane money with the turret finished up.
It's kind of a trade there as OpTic were back off their recall after the earlier play from Cloud9 around the Drake. Svenskeren, though, taking this space top side to steal away the red buff for himself, and Licorice will take the Krugs. So a pretty close one here. OpTic still ahead, almost 1,500 gold. Rift Herald also went over to Svenskeren. That was the other result of the pressure kind of being swapped back towards the top lane for Cloud9. But Crown working on this turret, got it pretty low himself. See if he can finish it off as Nisqy's grabbing the blue buff.
Nisqy gonna come back here. Yeah, blue buff recharging the mana, but he doesn't have much yet to work with, so he's gonna clear out the minions. And they want to try and win this mid turret trade where Rift Herald should be activated after a big pick. Significant chunk there, and you know, Svenskeren does have the paranoia, so anybody getting chunked out like that has to worry about Nocturne flying in on top of them.
Big also taking some damage there from Sneaky, who has finished his first item. It's Essence Reeve to him with an arrow with the IE. Licorice again, though, maybe starting to pick on Dhokla. He does have his flash, but he does get stopped out of the ulti. Now he's going to get feed up. Licorice puts the harpoon in, and that's Dhokla dead once more.
Yep, pulls them right back. Top lane kill secured for Cloud9. This is going to be pretty much back to even gold, and Cloud9 do have the Infernal Drake. OpTic not done, though. They're going to finish off this turret.
Here comes Big with the ulti. Blows the horn. Nisqy with a stopwatch, but here comes the E out. Oh, we missed it. Nisqy, though, does have to flash.
Yeah, that timing pretty significantly off for the Zhonyas right there. Crown not going to be able to land that charm. Meanwhile, Zeyzal moves up into the brush.
And moves swiftly out. OpTic continuing to hold firm here in Cloud9's red side jungle. Licorice also not done in top lane. Actually stayed. Does have TP if he needs to come. But working on the turret, at least doing what chip damage he can.
All right. Really opening up the map now with these outer turrets starting to fall. And once again, the Rift Herald that you mentioned still in Cloud9's possession. So we're looking for probably a mid lane power play with it so they can open up the map. Whenever you have Nocturne on your team, you're trying to split it a little bit. That's doubly so for when you also have Zoe. They can take down the mid lane turret. It opens up their vision control here to look for these Sleepy Trouble bubbles as well as the paranoia uses that will push their mid game to the next level.
Interestingly, it seems that the vision around the Drake is kind of the first point of call here for Cloud9. It is up in about a minute. They do get some vision down, but OpTic, of course, out on the map, ready to counter ward and do what they can. Svenskeren also farming. Wants level 11 if he can get it. I think the Krugs will get him there, if not very close. And is, in fact, level 11 just now. And Licorice ready with his TP. Dhokla's up in a few seconds. The team's ready to kind of make their next play around the Drake.
All right. Dhokla's got to be a little bit more careful now because even though they have so much vision on the bottom side, teleport's about to come back off cooldown. I guess they could all join fairly shortly here. As long as OpTic delay a little bit longer, Dhokla's teleport will match up.
Also gonna make sure they secure their red buff. Does go to Svenskeren. Should have Smite ready for the Drake as well once that comes up, but Cloud9 feeling a little low on vision here. Svenskeren actually going to pop the Herald mid and maybe as a distraction if nothing else.
Yeah, 2 points of pressure here now for Cloud9. The Dragon is coming up. Rift Herald heading down mid towards that turret. Will they actually be able to use it though? Nisqy's chipping away at it while he can, and the rest of OpTic still have vision control over the Dragon. He hasn't gotten behind to hit it in the eye though. You have to fully kill off this Rift Herald or it's going to do a lot of damage. They're going for the Dragon instead. All right, Cloud9 should push heavy with the Rift Herald then. Dragon's gone.
Licorice also roaming down. Nisqy looks for a bubble, does not release it. Big also here on the side, ready for the flank. Here's meteos charging in with a Predator. Shelly does get the charge off, but not enough to finish off that turret. And now again, the flank from Dhokla. Ready with his ultimate as Licorice trying to fend him off, flips him back. There's an ulti from Svenskeren. They might try and finish off this kill. Knockup lands in. Big does reactivate the ulti for a 2-man knockup. And Dhokla with a stopwatch for Big. It might be too far forward. Licorice, however, he's in the front side, caught out and shut down by the Sion. And now Zeyzal eats a charm. Arrow picks up the kill. Svenskeren trying to fight, but he just has nothing left. meteos on a rampage takes out another. And that's OpTic with a 3-kill team fight.
OpTic, really good juggling of the front line there. Big, constantly in and out, got the knockup while he was trying to escape as well, and that is going to be 2-3 kills over to OpTic in the mid-game fight after securing the Dragon and defeating the Rift Herald. They checked every single box they had for the last 2 minutes here, Pastry.
And OpTic continue to grow that lead as we'll watch this one again. Cloud9 just felt like they couldn't decide on which front to fight on.
So here it is, right? They're going to start off on Dhokla, Sion, the most tanky one. They start shredding him. They use the ultimate. Big knockup there. And the charm also landing for Crown does delay it. Big goes in. He actually didn't have any zonies or anything to get him out. He runs into the wall, gets the knockup. meteos also then rotates himself off of the front line as he got low on Olaf, moving back in to finish up the kill on his Svenskeren. And the entire time, Arrow on the Kaisa, dealing out the damage, finishing up this extra kill to allow OpTic a pretty sizable movement here in the game. Now they've really taken control. Let's see if they can transition that into vision around Baron and move this game along, because Cloud9 have been so good at their Baron defense, at controlling through here, through the mid game. And right now, they're going to have to worry about the next Nocturne ulti coming up very quickly.
There's no big objectives to fight for right now. Baron is up, but relatively unlikely for teams to take a real stab at it this early in the game. So Cloud9 move their duo lane to the top side, trying to get Sneaky a bit more farm. Licorice still strong there in his 1v1, but again, Dhokla's presence in team fights has been nice. OpTic with a little bit more space to move around right now. So Cloud9 gonna have to play well, use their cooldowns to try and find a pickoff. OpTic doing a good job not letting them for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, the extra Mountain Drake here means Cloud9 gotta keep vision in this Baron. There is a Kaisa with an Infinity Edge. And this is almost going to be a Blade of the, or excuse me, a Ginsu's Rage Blade completed. He's got the pieces. This needs, oh!
There's the combo in onto Crown. The ulti is out. There's the stasis. For Crown, nowhere to really go. Burns the flash and still gets shut down. As now meteos going to be the next target. Licorice here. That might be Baron. A TP from OpTic as well.
He can't cancel!
And Dhokla, he's in, but Big going to try and seal it off in the choke point. The ulti goes out. It does knock up Sneaky. They will grab a Resurrect. There's Arrow in the backline going to try and make the big play happen. But Licorice puts Dhokla back into the grinder. And now Big caught out. Drowsy for Zombie Sion. Into stasis there for the Zoe. Arrow, he just can't rejoin the fight. Cloud9 get 3 themselves.
Oh my goodness. Cloud9 strike back immediately, and that's going to be the Baron. Arrow and Big are the only 2 left up for OpTic, trying to defend.
Only 1 smite here for Cloud9, but it should be enough to take this Baron down. Arrow can't really get in safely. He's got no ulti. He does have flash.
They're going to try
something big. He's in there. He's unstoppable, but he will be stopped very swiftly. And that's Baron over to Cloud9 as OpTic throw themselves into the pit to no avail as Nisqy chases in once. Arrow, Licorice as well, also trying to grab the kill and does grab the shutdown. Nisqy with the auto electrocutes Arrow.
Oh my goodness. Oh, meteos wants to get a piece of him.
Here's ulti back up. Predator popped. Nisqy with the cleanse, zips around. There's the Ragnarok is nice, but a good flash from Nisqy back in towards Licorice. meteos maybe a little too far forward. The shutdown lands where Licorice will grab a kill of his own.
Crown is here as well, does have ultimate, but the rest of Cloud9 have reset with their Baron-empowered recalls and are back out onto the field. This one was a significant advantage here created by the speed of Zeyzal's Rakan initiation. Crown comes to check the brush, and they immediately cut him down for it. That's 2 kills, and the teleport was started. Can't be canceled, so Dhokla's in there as well. He is much tankier, so he's able to buy a lot of time, allowing Arrow to ult in there as well to deal some damage, but that is now 5v2 at the Baron, and as you know, Cloud9 are able to pick that one up. That means they can push afterwards and get this game back in their favor. What a quick swing, Pastry.
Yeah.
OpTic had just won so many objectives. The Dragon, the mid game fight there in the mid lane, and defeating the Rift Herald, but this one means so much more coming for Cloud9 with Baron as reward.
Gold lead basically swings straight back to Cloud9 as they continue to accrue even more gold as they knock down these turrets. So now ahead 3-2, although Crown will equalize in short order. Nisqy though takes down the Drake, gives even more objectives over to Cloud9, and this tier 2 turret not long for the world either. Dhokla puts up pretty pitiful defense with his Baron cannon. Not much he can do, unfortunately, as Crown will finish off that turret, but OpTic, time to play defense for a minute 30.
Yep, and Cloud9 are going super hard on the offense. Baron empowered minions get them right up to the inhibitor turret, and they're chunking it down. Sneaky is able to melt it. Here comes the Ornn Horn.
Big looking for it again, but he only grabs Licorice, who's pretty tanky at this point. Pops the stone plate. Darkness happens. Meteos on the side trying to make it happen, but Licorice going to dive into the backside. Everyone into the backline. Svenskeren all the way to the back of the team fight. Sion dead. Arrow getting chased down as Big picked off as well. Arrow already fallen. Meteos and Crown the only ones left to defend as Cloud9 are blitzing through OpTic.
Is this a game-ending Baron here, Pastry? They've got a minute left on it. Nexus turrets are in their sights. They're trying to chunk down Meteos and Crown.
Gonna try and finish off what they can. They want to claim that second place. The Nexus turret turned to shreds as Crown pops the cleanse and tries to cut it out, but Licorice dives in just a little too strong. Crown lives for a bit while longer, but the Nexus is exposed. Nisqy pops his ulti. Crown gets picked off, and Cloud9 in emphatic fashion will take down Meteos for the ace and take down the Nexus to retain second here in the LCS.
My goodness. The pick in the top side brush. Cloud9 lying in wait. The Rakan ultimate comes out lightning quick. 3 kills, Baron, a push down mid lane, and the game is over. Under 25.5 minutes in the North American LCS, where the games have been going on average over 36 minutes. Cloud9 cut this one short.
Ruthless efficiency from Cloud9. I mean, they've had a lot of go buttons and they were not afraid to use them. I feel like as soon as that Rakan engage happens, Svenskeren was quickly pressing his ulti, and then from bad to worse to dead Nexus there for OpTic, who were looking really good in that mid game, but
it was such a
one play
solid,
is all it took.
Such a solid game there from OpTic up until the point. Cloud9 absolutely ripped the game out of their hands with the Rakan engage, and Baron pushed down mid.
And tough for OpTic there at the bottom of the standings. I do believe they are a better team than their record indicates, but I think Cloud9, with this record, sole possession of second place, if I do recall correctly, and I think certainly they have earned that right.
Surely.
They are,
surely
at
they
this
have.
point, the second best team in the LCS.
I'm definitely enjoying the movement in the standings as well. There's no team that's really kind of fallen down to the bottom that you chalk up as guaranteed losses anymore. Everybody is making the upswell here, fighting for those spots. And it's making it so difficult because nobody wants to give an inch.
I also like that the games are speeding up. I think we had the things like, games are kind of slow. Cloud9's like, I don't know about the slow game thing. So more on that win, though. Let's send it down to Ahri for an interview with Cloud9 support.
Thanks, guys. Zeyzal, congratulations on the win. We were just talking about it. It looked a little close on the side of OpTic at the beginning, but you guys ended up pulling out the win. What did you think of your performance today?
I think my top side played really well. We did okay bottom. We got the 1 kill, but we were generally being pressured by them. Like OpTic had Olaf in our bot side, and they were getting dragons and pressuring us pretty hard, so we couldn't really use the solo kill we got and the advantage we got from that. So I'm just fortunate that our top side traded back well, and we managed to win off that.
And so earlier today, we did see Team Liquid fall to TSM and show that they're not exactly as invulnerable as we first thought. But you guys are sitting really pretty in second place. So what do you think is keeping you from taking their spot?
I think the main thing that's stopping us from being able to be where Team Liquid is was our loss against CLG, which was like, we just played poorly. So I think the consistency might be a factor. They seem to be very consistent in that even if they don't win early, they play very well as a team after that to get the win. So that gives them a bit of an advantage in like the long run over a certain amount of games. Their consistency will lead and get them wins. And then obviously our match against them where we lost, we rolled it down a bit mid and lost that way. So that was an unfortunate one too.
That was just the start of the split. But Zeyzal, thank you so much and congratulations again. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali and Zeyzal. Cloud9 take care of business here. Definitely, it was weird because it was a very close game for a long time. They were behind, I think, throughout the early mid game, and then they came in and they won the fastest game of the split.
Yeah, and the final kills were like 14-10.
Yeah.
It was just so how close
Super
it
bloody.
was, and like a 4 or 5K gold difference. At the end.
One mistake from OpTic just makes them lose the Baron, and the game is over on the first Baron. I think that's really cool from C9. When they pull an advantage or a Baron, they actually do things with it. Whereas you see other teams, yes, they get a Baron, but oftentimes they don't really get like a giant advantage. C9's okay, you gave us Baron, we're winning the game.
Yeah, and I overall like the draft for both teams. The Ahri for me is a little suspect, but I do like the idea of the Olaf being a power pick in the early game, and meteos was very active. Bot side, you have scaling with engage. I think their team comp still works together pretty well. And of course, so does C9s for the most part. You have a lot of engage tools, good front line, and a scaling Xayah with the new crit items.
Right, meteos had 100% kill participation for quite a while that game.
Yeah.
He actually did very well. I actually really like that he picks a target and he committed to it. Like he found
I'm going top.
He's going top. He found the Zoe way later into the game. Like, all right, you guys got Baron. I'm gonna kill your Zoe. Trades flash, dies for it. But I found it really funny. He's always in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this is like the most active Sion Urgot matchup I think I've watched in a long time. Just kills going back and forth nonstop, and it kind of speaks to what we were saying about how C9 does play through Licorice quite a bit, even when it is a beefier matchup. And it was a pretty bloodbathy top lane for the most part. The kills were getting traded back relatively evenly. But what ended up happening was over the course of the game, C9's better team decision-making took over. So like Nisqy being able to show up here and make sure they actually grab one more kill, because otherwise this would have been a 2-for-1.
This was the second time he went top too. He keeps ditching mid lane, falling a bit behind on turret plating, so he has to come top and make this advantage for Licorice so that he can later do this. Now, I'm gonna say that's more on Dhokla than Licorice being good, to be fair. But you know, everything counts towards it.
And that's what matters, I think, is when you have the better top laner and it's a really bloody top lane, like, you know at some point Licorice is gonna outperform Dhokla. And then finally, because you've been setting him up time and time again and keeping him relevant and going top, that eventually he just starts solo killing.
What's interesting here as well is that of all games to be top focus, it feels like actually two of the teams that would be that. Cloud9 recently no longer with Jensen, who we actually know is fairly resource demanding, very vocal about what he wants. We've heard meteos talk about the fact that Crown is very selfless, doesn't ask for much of anything himself. So, well, okay, I guess we'll go get top side of my Olaf, and I guess we'll go use my Nocturne ults up there as well. And that worked out pretty nicely. The bot lanes felt like they were able to withstand most of the pressure regardless. Those ganks didn't really come through. We eventually got into the mid game, of course. The mid game is where things really broke apart. C9 on a very tight one, managed to win the big team fight around Baron, and that's just when the game ended, basically.
And that's kind of what we were saying, where like the better team play eventually goes in C9's favor, because in this situation, it's a good brush bait. They're able to pick one right away, but meteos could have potentially dipped out through the bot lane, but with the paranoia, didn't know where to go and starts fighting. And then the TPs come in, they try and save meteos, one more TP comes in, then the Sion's gonna ult in and try and bend around the corner and get in here when you maybe could have had this be a 1-for-0. It suddenly turns into, I believe, a 3 or a 4-for-0.
Right. I believe people call this strategically minded gameplay from the team, and it's like, if you're gonna lose a member, just ditch that member.
Saving Private Crown.
Yeah, saving Private Crown, definitely not worth it there. You don't have to send your entire team. Like, sure, let Ahri die, but don't give your entire team and the Baron. Why are you doing that? It's one death, whatever.
It did feel like a lot of unforced errors out of OpTic. That TP can't come until after Nocturne ult's over, and by that time, Ahri is long dead. We already know meteos hasn't flashed the wall. Like, there's no reason to start that teleport or follow through on a known 3v5. And I want to move to OpTic because it's this team who is now 0-4 with their intended lineup, and 2-2 with the Academy squad. Okay, the half Academy squad with you know, a couple of those players still in there, but like, it feels like they're making the wrong choice with this lineup here. That's kind of what I want to talk about here, because Cloud9 took care of business. OpTic, I mean, 0-4 with the lineup with a team that was 2-2 coming in.
It's hard to tell, because I think some teams have improved since when OpTic was at their best. Like, I think Golden Guardians has turned it around a fair amount compared to their drafts in week 1. Same with CLG. And so I wonder if OpTic Academy would still be picking up wins with the other teams in the league starting to figure their own stuff out. But it doesn't feel good to be the starters coming in and go 0-4.
It's definitely got to be weird from their position, too, because it's not like Arrow and Big are necessarily performing bad or meteos. It's just that those 5 don't seem to have the synergy that the other 5 did. And that doesn't really make sense to me because it's like Dardoch came in and was like, hey, that was my first game with Crown.
Yeah, no one should have synergy.
Yeah, but it seemed like they had better team play going into these games than these guys did. And it's just weird to see it. Maybe we'll see a roster change up next week or something.
Yeah, as it stands right now, of course, OpTic Gaming alongside Clutch are 2 games out of playoff position. I know we're only rounding out the first round robin. We're 8 games into the 18, but you've got 2 to make up with 10 games to play over teams that are already playing better than you. So I think it's when you start to get a little afraid. So I actually do want to ask you then the more pointed question: do you change things up as OpTic? Like, sure, yeah, you had to start together late, but like, you've got to pick up 2 more wins than other teams. You got to outperform CLG.
You're 0-4 right now, and you definitely want something different to change. If you're doing well in scrims with meteos in the current roster that you have, but not performing the stage, you don't have that much more wiggle room. So I would say, depending on if you're trying to make playoffs this split, or if you're just trying to improve the main roster, that depends on you. But if you're trying to make playoffs, try a different split, like change the things. That'll boost everyone's team morale, because it's kind of like a new player joining, and then, you know, the feel-good moment happens, and they might do better, you know? Might be worthwhile.
It's tough because some of the areas you would want to see improvement, it feels hard to find pieces, because I think meteos had a pretty good game there, and if you put Dardoch in, he might be a little bit more explosive in the early game, but that's not really why they lost.
meteos was like 3-0-2 within like 7 minutes, and he's like doing well, right? So yeah, it's hard to say.
It's how much can you fix those problems with the tools that you have available.
Yeah, to me, it does look like the mid game was the issue, right? Again, that last replay we saw was just like very obvious, unforced error kind of mistakes. I don't know, maybe meteos and Big are both too vocal, and like there's that conflict.
Maybe that's the shot caller on the other side is a better shot caller or something like that, possibly. Whoever's making the team decision. I don't really know.
Sometimes it's too many cooks. And of course, it's hard to know. I know talking with OpTic's GM at the start of the season, when they were switching players around, he said, like, we've been vocal that it's going to be a 10-man roster. We'll bring in the players who need to be played. We'll see if they can figure it out, and I do hope for OpTic's sake that they do. But for now, we are going to take a look at the next segment. Throughout the week, you took to Twitter to praise the jaw-dropping moments that you called out, and we've decided to pull up some of our favorites. And up first, it's Tricky Walrus 1, who says the true LCS big play is Hakuho's triple kill and penta denial.
Svenskeren put up, the damage continuing to come down. Licorice getting himself away, but Nisqy is a machine, and he's able to find a double. Zeyzal allows the push to continue as a follow will fall. It's a triple for Nisqy. They might find even more. He needs another auto attack, and the Quadra is found.
Penta, dive him.
Penta? I'm stealing. Hey, I'm stealing.
No, Nisqy, you're one kill. You're one kill. Don't touch him. I'm going. Go.
I'm going.
Guys.
We can't do it.
Oh, wait, did we even end now?
I don't think so.
We don't even end now.
Maybe.
I actually love that Zeyzal's like, wait, do we even end? Like,
they're like, did we strategically mine too much to the point where we can't end the game now? Or
worked out.
It was close. I think if they play that optimally, they can find that kill, but
there's no way. I definitely would have went into the Falcon.
Nisqy has to like get in there.
In their defense, I would have followed them into the Falcon to try and get that penta for Nisqy too. So I can see that play. I like it.
Okay, I'm glad they managed to end the game. Like, it always feels really tilting when you're like, ooh, wow, we threw away a game ender, and there's the 2% chance you.
Yeah, they come back. Where they leave it, the Nexus at 1 HP. I've had a solo queue game where someone just didn't end, and then I lost. I'm just like, can I report this guy for this?
A little bit. Soft ending at the least. Then, of course, we had Alexander525 tweeting contracts with the smite to get double if spell shield was amazing. I agree.
Jensen, double if rotates over for a couple of auto attacks. Wall thrown out. Froggen has to be careful to not eat too much damage coming in from Jensen. Nice catch! That one's going to be huge as he goes into the grind of the top. They already forced out impact on the bottom side. He has teleport, but right here, it's already made connection. That was so close. He used the QSS as well. The QSS, the heal, the flash. Nothing is going to save double lip from that.
That was super sick because he did it so fast that you know it was predictive. There's no way he was reacting to double if spell shield. So that was a pretty big call out.
He's like in a really random spot too, engaging from the wolves because I didn't actually see it, but there's probably a ward in that bush next to him, and he's still coming from out of vision. So it's like a great placement from him and great wall from Nivea as well.
Yeah, mechanically it's just smart to say, okay, smite, you know, as close as you can before you land, make sure it's a bit early. Double lift, like technically there's ways to like spell shield a little bit closer to like the landing time, but
or
then
I
you're
think that was
guessing
on
when he's
contract.
landing.
Or just quick fingers.
No.
Flash as well.
No, of course, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're a Sivir. You expect the spell shield.
Yeah,
sure,
fine. And of course, that's gonna be the next line of it is like, okay, actually, you have to always flash a Zac with a blue smite because he can land it. Either way, yes, great by contracts. Obviously, a really good play, and even some of the best of us can miss that one. Now, of course, finally, May West asks, can Broken Blades game qualify the whole game as an LCS big play?
To do anything when this is happening under the turret. Broken Blade onto Impact, looking for the 1v1 solo. Dolo, easy!
That to your Yorick. As we watch this one more time, the E gets missed. He's stacking up the passive, so it's fully stacked straight in onto Impact. He even missed his Counter-Strike there, actually, but Impact turned around, maybe thinking he could actually fight back a little bit.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I mean, you could call it a whole gameplay, but that was only one highlight. They didn't show everything else with the initial kill in the top lane, and all that stuff. So it was a pretty big game for the rookie.
Yeah, we had a
rookie. Yeah, because I got some stuff for that last.
I mean,
time.
yeah, he played the whole season up in Turkey and on second place a couple of times in a row. Definitely a good player overall. Had some experience, came close to qualifying for Worlds. So make sure you keep tweeting your favorite plays all season long using the hashtag LCS Big Plays. We'll keep calling them out. And as we wrap out the day, let's see how our teams stack up in the LCS. Team Liquid's win streak is over, but they built that buffer. They're still in first place. Cloud9 only one game back in second. And my interest is Cloud9 one game back in third. They play each other next week on Saturday. That's going to be huge.
Some huge matchups coming up, like you said, Cloud9 versus FlyQuest, where Cloud9 can really cement themselves as the second place team, which then puts a ton of focus on the Week 7, I believe, rematch versus Team Liquid, where Team Liquid looks a little bit vulnerable. Cloud9 are the fastest team in the league, and we're saying the early game for Team Liquid is the concern. They also play top focus, which is how Team Liquid lost today. So I'm super excited to see if Cloud9 can potentially overcome this, what we thought was immovable object of the first place Team Liquid.
Right, and if they're having poor practice this week, is that going to extend to the next week? And is this going to be like a snowball effect of where they're playing scrims poorly due to other reasons that I'm not going to
Mental boom.
Yeah, can their mental boom? Hopefully not, since, they've been long veteran players, but, you never know.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the predictions we've had. It's a pretty messy day. That is a lot of darkness down there. Finally, got a couple of those right at the end with those two pickups. High, 4-1. Yeah. Impressive. No one called the TSM Liquid, but that one's hard to know.
Right. I mean, we all got that one wrong in everyone's defense, so I'm going to say a lot of people on Twitter probably got that. All right. Jack is a prophet, he's got some insider information that we don't have, so I'm going to say he's cheating. Whatever information he's getting from, he should send it my way so I can keep doing this well. That'd be nice.
I'm trying to be the kind boy like Rush. I'm trying to copy his 50-50 ways, so I'm actually exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, that's not bad in hindsight, right? 50%, like...
I mean, hindsight is 20/20.
But I'm aiming for 50%, which makes it hard.
Setting your goals low, you can't be disappointed then.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting stuff. I do want to actually bring up, maybe sometime next week, because Jack put his preseason predictions out there of 1 through 10 from the teams. And if he got that result right, maybe, as it turns out, his whole top 10 of LCS was correct as well.
I think I remember him putting CLG 10th, which is certainly not the case right now.
They're currently fourth.
They got quite a while to go down there, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Curious to see. Of course, it's now going to be time for LCS Cooldown, which is still going to feature me. So, Zeyzal, take it away, buddy. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.